Hi Mick, it's Aussie. Yeah, mate, I'm good. Listen, I want to discuss the prospects of you being in the Ferrari again next season. Yeah, well, look, mate, you've been a really good team player, and to be honest, I've got nobody else to give the drive to. Yeah. Well, anyway, how would you feel about 5.5 million? Badly? I mean, how much do you want? Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. It is the Japanese Grand Prix today. We are desperately clinging on to the back of Verstappen and Red Bull in the two championships. But I think there's one thing, and you guys seem to agree in the comments, that we can take from Singapore. It's that we are pretty much the second best team right now. The gap, though, to Red Bull does look quite big. So that is obviously a little concerning. We can see here that Mick is up to 5th in the driver's standings now. Hopefully he'll be able to get over the top of Perez before long, and then, yeah, that's probably as far as he'll get, to be honest. But 27 points, Giovinazzi back from Verstappen. What we need to really spice this up is for Max to have a DNF, for Giovinazzi to win, maybe even nick a fastest lap on the way to that win, and it'll be a 1-point championship. So it can swing back our way very quickly, but he has just been edging away, hasn't he, Max, of recent times. Now, I have been trying to offer Mick a new contract, and the contracts in this really annoy me, because you have no idea what they're actually hoping for. So we offered him sort of going up and up and up gradually. I think it was at the 5.5 a year, a 1-year deal, which he was okay with, and then 100 grand bonus for getting on the podium to go with that. But we ended up, he said no, and then he didn't want to negotiate anymore. What annoys me about it is that realistically, okay, so he's an 85 rated driver. Where else is he going? If we have a look, if we search by rating, I mean, Hamilton is a free agent, but he's 85, so there's Albon below him. So, you know, he's sort of a mid-range to lower-end Formula 1 driver. I mean, these are getting into reserve drivers now. Like, where is he going outside of Ferrari? So, you know what I mean? Like, he should be more willing to sign on with us and not risk us going somewhere else. He doesn't know that we're not going to sign anybody else. So I just find that I do find that a little bit frustrating, I've got to say. And I know there in the new game, it looks like there is some tweaks to the... Norris is the highest... No, third highest. Or actually, second highest. I know that there are tweaks coming and it's going to change around a little bit, and that'll all be good, obviously. But, yeah, I just feel like... Just sign with us, Mick, for 5.5 and... Stop annoying me. But anyway, that is that. Let's have a quick look at what we're doing here. It's only been a week since the last race, so we haven't had a chance to do anything. Rain on qualifying. Excellent. Well, that usually stuffs us up, doesn't it? Circuit map. Of course, we just saw Suzuka a couple of weekends ago in real life, didn't we? So red is Sector 1, blue Sector 2, yellow Sector 3. Sections by speed. It's very, very high-speed corners for the most part, medium-speed corners. Car attributes, top speed, and high-speed corners is what these recommended. Time considerations, 23-second green flag stop, which isn't the worst. 17 seconds, you save 6 seconds under a safety car. We saw in real life that it's really a 2-stop race, isn't it? So soft, medium, soft is probably the way you'd want to go. And then we can see the compound performance there. The soft does drop off at quite a rate, but it is also half a second a lap faster than the medium. So you definitely want to be on that. Historically here, Red Bull, unfortunately, historically has won. Let's hope we can break that. And if we have a look at our performance targets, reach Q3, you'd like to hope so. Someone in the top 4 again, we'd like to hope so, I think. Fastest lap is something that... I know you never really plan, maybe some people do, but I never really plan a strategy around getting fastest lap. If you get the opportunity, obviously you want to try and take it. So we need 2 cars in the top 6 for qualifying, and if we get someone in the top 6 today, we'll get some money for that as well. So that is all very, very nice. Let's head off to Japan. And so moderate rain through free practice today, and then heavy rain potentially for qualifying. That could go very wrong, particularly with how quickly the track dries out in this as well. So, let's hope it doesn't go all wrong for us here. Alright, so we've done free practice. It was very, very wet. Let's have a quick look here. FP1, we can see Red Bull up the top there. If we scroll down, we were 11th and 12th in this one, though they were dry times. Not everybody did the dry times at the same time and that kind of stuff. FP2, all these were interfered by with rain. We were 14th and 16th. Now FP3, we didn't have to go out with Giovinazzi at all because he already had his setup done. Mick, we got his setup. Both cars have 100% satisfaction on the setup, but we were perhaps lacking a little bit of pace in this one. But yeah, I'm not sure why. Let's hope it was just one of those things. So there we go, we can see both setups absolutely perfect. Now, it's supposed to be a wet qualifying, so we'll go in and do each session, you know, one at a time here. Hopefully, if it starts dry, we get the lap in first up. Alright, so there is... Oh, everybody's come out. Where did Mick... Okay, so he's sort of towards the front there.
There's no more rain, all clear.
So we're expecting rain in 4 minutes. I'm not quite sure what the engineer is going on about there. We've got Giovinazzi, so both cars have got some free air, so that's important. We're not stuck in behind anybody. Let's see if we're doing purple sectors or not. Giovinazzi is going faster than Mick. Somebody behind us is going quicker than anybody else. Let's see, Giovinazzi is ahead of an Alpine, which is... Alpine's a pretty strong car. Ricciardo's done a good lap. Mick might be in a little bit of trouble here. No, I think we're okay. And the rain is there. So 4th and 8th, and that should be that. Alright, so the track did go dry right at the end. We needed to try and save tyres if we could, so that's what we did. So Giovinazzi was always safe. Mick was a little bit more touch and go. In the end, only a 10th. But I guess the same as we've seen before. There's a lot of cars between him and the drop, and even though it looks close, realistically, he was possibly always going to be safe. So let's move on to Q2 now. And again, we are expecting rain fairly early on here. I've sent Mick out too close there, have I? It might be enough. Actually, if he gets through this first part of the lap in decent position, he's going to get a nice drag through the rest of the lap. And 25.9, so that's faster than what we did. Now, Giovinazzi, 0.6 off that, is a 26.5. That is going to be a little bit touch and go for Giovinazzi, and he could be out here. It's going to start raining, and Giovinazzi is going to need a second lap on a wet track. This track needs to dry or Giovinazzi is out. So we just see this from Giovinazzi every now and again, don't we? He just didn't show up for his first lap, and that's him done. He'll start 12th. And it's going to be a long, long way back for him from there. Mick, though, he's in between the Red Bulls. Let's hope he can pull off a big result here in qualifying. Alright, so again, there is a chance of rain in 4 minutes. So we're going straight out on a new set of tyres. And let's see. I mean, the track was absolutely drenched at the end of the last session. Another thing that I hope they do fix with the new one when it comes out is just realistic track drying. And actually getting wet is probably about right. But it just dries at a silly rate at times. But anyway, let's jump on board for this one. This is possibly going to be Mick's only lap. Realistically, it probably is, no matter what happens to the track conditions, because we need to save soft tyres for the race, where it is not going to rain. What I wasn't expecting to happen is to be using 3 sets of softs in a wet qualifying. So maybe that's not a great sun position, isn't it? Maybe that's my fault. I should have been a little bit more careful with how I was using tyres in free practice. In that I wasn't really being careful because it was raining in free practice as well, but just the tyres that got handed back, and there was a lot of softs that went back. So that's me. I should have been paying more attention clearly to what tyres I was using and what was going to go back. But anyway, let's see. Can he get himself into the 25s? We know a 25.9 was just a smidge off, so he's done a 26.4. That's not probably good enough, although it has rained and the track is going to have lost some grip. Let's have a look what everybody else is doing here. Russell is about to go faster than us. Magnussen's gone faster than us. So that's third. Fifth now, as Ocon and Leclerc go faster as well. And the rain is here. So a bit of a mixed-up qualifying delivers a bit of a mixed-up result. Verstappen is only starting 6th, so that limits the damage to Giovinazzi. He's only 6 places behind him. And it's going to come down to maybe some creative strategy in this one and see what we can do. Russell starting up front, though. Not good for the constructors, that one. Okay, so we are expecting no rain during the race. So how do we do this? I think with Giovinazzi... I think what we're going to do with Giovinazzi, because it's the situation again that we saw with Mick at Zandvoort, I think, wasn't it? Where Giovinazzi needs free air up to be able to... sort of mount his comeback here. So let's try that. We'll go really, make up as much as we can off the line, come in earlier, put on a medium tyre and everybody else is on older tyres. Hopefully get some undercuts going, and then we'll come in a little bit earlier on the soft tyre again, and hopefully get some undercuts. So that's Giovinazzi. Mick, now if we're honest, I mean, Mick's not in a perfect position himself here, is he? But he's starting 5th. There must have been a penalty for somebody up front. I think it's possibly... Okay, so let's try this. Obviously, he's a soft tyre down on Giovinazzi. So let's try a longer soft first stint, then a more of a quick burst, and then we'll go with a big push on the medium to the end. Or do we reverse that and do the medium stint in the middle? We can probably make that decision at the time. But let's go with that for now. And yeah, we're not ideally positioned here, but it could certainly be a lot worse for Mick in particular. So yeah, let's go see what we can do with this. Alright, welcome back. A big thank you to all my channel members and Patreon supporters as they scroll across the bottom there. It is greatly appreciated. But let's get on with this. There's links in the description if you want to support me in that way. But if not, just watch the ads and that's absolutely fine. We're on board with, and Mick's up to 4th. So Verstappen Mick's up to 3rd. Go on, Mickey boy. Now, oh, we've not quite got that nailed yet. Now, what tyres is everybody on? It's a 50-50 split, more or less, isn't it, between soft and medium. Crucially, though, Mick has got ahead of a soft tyre runner in Leclerc and a medium tyre runner. Oh, what's happened there? What's happened there? Verstappen has spun. It's a red flag.
Posted, red flag.
Now, is Verstappen out? I've missed the click. I've missed the click. But anyway, it's a red flag. Hopefully, if he's caused a red flag, Verstappen's out here, isn't he? Surely Verstappen is out. So there's no chance of anything happening there. We more or less just go as we were, don't we? Because 97, 90. Yeah, so he just goes as he was. And Mick, I think, just goes the same. There's no need to change anything. But I am desperate to know, is Verstappen out? So, Crofty just said all drivers have taken their position. Mick is starting this one from 3rd. And we go again. So, no, Verstappen is held on to 6th. That's, I mean, what I should have done in hindsight is been able to click and actually see what happened. But he's off again, is Mick. He's up to 2nd. And, yeah, flying up there nicely behind Russell. So let's hope he can stay with him. But Giovinazzi is the championship contender. And he finds himself currently a little ways down in this mid-pack here. And with work to do. Now, tyres. So there's a hard tyre there for Magnussen. Now, whether we can read into anything that happened in the real-life Grand Prix, but the hard tyre did not work, did it? Mercedes tried it. It didn't work. Verstappen has stayed 6th. And Mick is right behind George Russell. George Russell on the medium tyre. Now, we can't push these tyres too much. Virtual safety car.
It looks like quite a big accident.
Okay, so what has... Oh, safety car is now being deployed.
All the way down turn 2.
What has happened here? It is... just ahead of us. Hopefully we're not going to be involved in any way. And yeah, two straight through. I hope he's okay. Jesus. Alright, so safety car is ending now. There were some cars that came in for pit stops. Now I'm not sure exactly why some had 2 and 1. It wasn't that many cars that came in. Albon somehow managed to, despite going through the fence, managed to stay in the race. I'm assuming he took Sargent's car. Even though Sargent isn't racing right now, and never mind at McLaren. But let's go. We've got Mick right up behind George Russell, and if we look at perhaps tyre life, which gives us a better idea, we can see it's sort of Ocon back that came in for a stop there. So it's too early, in my opinion. I don't know if that's not going to save you a stop. I wouldn't have thought. You're still going to have to probably come in 2 more times, but maybe they'll prove me wrong. I'd imagine artificial intelligence is a lot more intelligent than me. But there we go. Giovinazzi moves up another spot, so that is good. He can essentially just go a full push now to his pit stop. So not quite full push, but we'll try and eke out the tyre life a little bit more and make an advantage of the safety cars. But he certainly, as we can see, is going to get a lot more life out of this tyre than we were maybe expecting him to. And so we might even put him back on neutral. Mick is all over the back of George Russell. So again, we might stick him back to neutral here. And we'll see how much cruising we can get away with and still stay behind him. Even though, he's on a medium tyre. So we don't want to just spend the whole stint behind him, because we're going to have to go into the medium tyre at some point. But it certainly looks as though at this phase of the race, we could probably do with getting past him and maybe pushing away a little bit, couldn't we? Alright, so let's try and get him down this straight and then maybe go a full push lap. Do we have DRS yet? I don't think we do. We have it now. But yeah, like I say, we could really do with getting a move done. We could really have used gone with getting a move done into turn 1 there, in truth. So we might wait for next lap when we do have DRS. And then we can do sort of a bit of a full send, have a full lap without DRS, without ERS behind us, and try and break that gap. So we'll stay with it and see if this is going to work out for us. We've harvested up a little bit, and I think we can now send her off and hopefully get. Oh, we're going to get that done very, very easily. Even without the ERS. And now we want to try and pull away as much as possible. And if we can break the DRS behind us, that's going to be a very useful thing. And it looks like we're going to do that quite comfortably, actually. So well done, Mick. I've not done it quite yet, but he's more or less there. And we're about to break, I think. Oh, he's just coming back. I wonder if he's trying to stay within our DRS. There is just the one zone, of course. So as Giovinazzi's going back and forth with Norris right now. Not quite broken it. He has just. Oh, he might just have done that, you know. Can we see if he has DRS? We can't really. Can we? If we look behind, he does have DRS. But he doesn't have the pace to run with us. Surely not. So it should be okay. We should have broken that by next lap, I would have hoped and thought. Giovinazzi, meanwhile, did get past Lando Norris. He's got the two cars, Perez and Magnussen, in front of him here. Magnussen, of course, is on the hard tyre. And if he can break it, if he can break these two, get past these two, then that sticks him up in, we've got the top 4 like we had at Singapore. Alright, so we are all over the back, or almost right up the back of Magnussen. That should, even if he does have DRS, I wonder if we could do a double overtake here. Could we dare dream a double overtake? Go on, Gio, around the outside. Yeah, just get one. Just get one. He's got one. Alright. Now can we go and get Perez at some point through this lap, which is maybe debatable. Mick's still doing it's only a lap, half a lap has passed, but Mick is still doing a pretty good job out front. But yeah, I suspect we'll get him down the front straight. That's going to be a bit of a give me, I think. And here we go now. Even with a bit of a top up on the old ERS, we're through. And we've only about 4 seconds behind Verstappen. Although, as I say, in truth, we're about to stop soon anyway. So, yeah, it's not going to be... Maybe we can just close up the gap, maybe. That'd be nice. Can we close up the gap? Alright, so in about a lap and a half or so, we've got the gap down to under 3 seconds, and we're not quite done yet. We're coming in this lap just to avoid perhaps going a little bit too far on this set of tyres. But we've done a really, really good job with Giovinazzi. He's got himself right back up into contention. Now, do we get a good stop is the big question. Off, on, go. Go. I mean, nothing needs to be said, does it? Alright, so this is Mick's in-lap. He is 2.5 seconds ahead of Russell. Of course, all that will mean nothing if we don't get a decent pit stop. So let's hope we've just got that out of our system and see what Mick can do. Come on, please, please, please. They did so well last time, didn't they? There we go, 2.8. He's going to come out, I think, at the back of everybody that hasn't stopped yet. Or actually, no, he's going to come out in is he going to come out mid-pack here? He is. He's come out in 14th, which is not free air, which is maybe the problem. We're using a set of tyres that has done some time in qualifying. So, yeah, we can't be too ambitious on them. But we do have a medium tyre to push to the end. So, yeah, we'll see how quickly we can get through the traffic here. Giovinazzi is doing some good lap times, doing 130s, high 130s, so he's catching everybody in front quite quickly. Just one of those things. Would have loved to have had those 4 seconds. Alright, so Mick is currently slicing his way through traffic as he goes around the outside of Lance Stroll there. He's caught up to this Sonoda train. We would really love for some of this train to come into the pits, to be honest, but they're not doing it just yet. And I do wonder if some of this train is looking to do a one-stop at this point as well, which suits us down to the ground, to be honest, because they're going to be way, way slower than us. You can see Giovinazzi has caught up to those as well, those in front of him. So he's in a it's not Maldonado, is it? It's Maloney's train. So he has a little bit of work to do. Hopefully he can get some overtaking done. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps there's a move around the outside. That's the extra pace that we've got right now. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe the Red Bulls are looking to do a one-stop, but they'd have to go onto a hard tyre. And we saw that it's just going to be too slow, I would have thought. Maybe I'll be wrong. But if there is going to be a difference in strategy between the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, then it should make for an interesting race at least. Looks like Ocon's on a hard tyre here. So hopefully we can continue to make progress nice and quickly. And then if we do get to the front of this train, we've got a 3-second gap then to Norris, and that's more or less back with almost with the leading pack behind the Red Bulls then. So we go down the inside. Oh, it goes to the left. We go to the right. There's no stopping us. And, I mean, Mick's not even pushing his tyres at this point, as Giovinazzi gets a move done on Bottas as well. So both Ferraris are moving forward. It's just a matter of, yeah, if they are, everybody else is doing one-stops, or a lot of the front-running teams are doing one-stop, then how much of an advantage are we going to have, and is it enough to make up for that pit stop? I mean, I think it is, to be honest, but we'll find out. Alright, so George Russell has just come into the pits. Now, he was, of course, second. Actually, there's quite a few coming into the pits here, so this suggests one stop to me for sure. Unless they come out onto a soft tyre, then maybe it is going to be a two-stop, as everybody else sets fastest laps. Giovinazzi with a 29.7 once he gets into a bit of free air. And so Russell has come out just in front of him. Oh, is that a hard tyre I just saw? Russell is on a hard tyre, so Russell is one-stopping. You imagine that we're going to get something similar out of Verstappen, who is 10 seconds ahead of Schumacher right now, who's back up into second. This is going to be a very, very interesting strategic race. Verstappen has gone for another one. He's not going to be able to go into a soft tyre, I wouldn't have thought. Maybe he could. Again, it's one of those time will tell. But Giovinazzi is up into fifth. 4 seconds plus a pit stop to Russell in front of him. There's still about half the race to go, so still a long, long way to go. But again, if we had that pit stop time back, he'd be right behind him, wouldn't he? So I don't want to keep harping on about it. We've been doing that for 2.5, almost 3 seasons now. Alright, so Verstappen has now come into the pits. Same lap. So that puts Mick back to the front. Where does it put Giovinazzi as Russell does fastest lap? There's him there. It's a yellow flag. Race control virtual safety car. Oh, for once, it goes our way.
Is everybody okay?
Alright, so let's have a look at what happened first of all. It is Norris and the Williams. Is that going to be Ricciardo, I wonder? Oh!
A guy turning into me. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so both cars are going to be coming in this lap. The reason I'm bringing Giovinazzi in, it sacrifices his second set of softs, but everybody behind us here is going to be coming in as well. And what that's going to mean is... that's a good one, okay. What that's going to mean is that he's not going to be able to pull out a gap on them. Although what he's also doing, I suppose, is he's not going to have an advantage over Verstappen. So maybe we should have left him out. I guess it's one of those, time will tell, won't it? But All right, so virtual safety car
Yeah,
has
it's
just
enabled.
finished.
You can push.
So Mick is only a couple of seconds behind Verstappen. So that has, as I say, for once, it's worked out okay because Verstappen just came in the pits and then as he was leaving, there was a virtual safety car. Giovinazzi, on the other hand, is somewhat buried. Yeah, I do wonder, given that it was only a virtual safety car and not an actual safety car, what I should have done is left him out and then he could have had a set of softs at the end. I think I've been bitten by safety cars before, and I think I've used a safety car strategy on a virtual safety car there. Another red flag.
Red flag.
There seems to be a lot of cars just disappeared in front of us there. Was I looking down when something happened? So indeed, it would appear that I was. So we've got another red flag. Now, is this too early for a soft tyre? There's not that much that has changed. But could a soft tyre go from lap 34 to the end? It has a lifespan of 29 laps. And there's only 20 laps to go. So I'm going to say let's have a crack. Given that we are 8th right now. Let's go for it. Mick, on the other hand, will stick on a new set of mediums because why not? But it's not going to make that much difference for his race. He's on mediums to the end anyway, as planned. All right, so let's try this again. A third start for the race. Both Red Bulls on front. We can see Mick there. Looks like there's a lot of medium tyres at the front, which is fair enough. We want to deploy with both cars here,
That's an oldie overtake.
and we definitely want to be aggressive with Mick because he's got some good tyres on
Speed
his
it up
car.
a bit.
Giovinazzi, meanwhile, probably needs to get going here early. He's the first of the soft tyre runners, but the tyres will get there. We can't really afford to push them, but that little bit of extra that we did between the stop and the virtual safety car and the red flag has basically given us a chance to use the soft tyres here. And we saw they are half a second a lap faster. So there's definitely an advantage here. And if we can get overtaking done quickly, then there's a chance that he could go and join the front four. But the issue, of course, is that we really can't afford to push these tyres at all. We've got to go gentle on them. So we might need to wait for DRS if we're going to get overtakes done here. Alright, we are going on a little bit of a one-time effort here with Giovinazzi to try and clear these two in front. It's Ocon and Perez, both on medium tyres. We're deploying full send on petrol, full send on tyres. That is hopefully going to be Perez out of the way. It should be Perez out of the way. And we can't afford to keep going like that around the corners, so we'll go neutral. But what we should be able to do, though, is we're not in a DRS train necessarily right now. So we should be able to, with no DRS for Ocon in front, we need to get these tyre temps down as quickly as we can. But what we should be able to do is, without too much trouble, get him down the front straight, and then we can go from there. Mick just quickly is just camped up behind the two Red Bulls. We're just harvesting up his battery a little bit, not too much. Let's just deploy here and make sure we get this done. And that is Giovinazzi up into 4th. Can he now go and run down the medium-tyred runners' leaders? We're going to find out, of course, in the next few laps. 13, 14 laps to go. Alright, so the answer to can Giovinazzi catch them is yes, and quite quickly. Now, he should hopefully get this move done on Mick. Don't fight your teammate, just let him pass, please, Mick. Just let him pass, please, Mick. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. Don't fight him, actually. Keep not fighting him. And now, you can go and try and stay with him, please, and thank you. But Giovinazzi is quite a bit quicker, doing half a second faster than the Red Bulls. Mick obviously was a little bit compromised that lap, so we were asking him to let Giovinazzi pass. But let's see now what Giovinazzi can do. Hopefully Mick is going to stay within DRS He just about is right now. But is he going to be able... Is he going to be able to... I did tell Mick not to attack, didn't I? Yes. We're going to harvest him up. He's got a big pace advantage. His soft tyres are going to get to the end. And there's 10 laps to go currently. Giovinazzi could be about to have an epic comeback in this race. And for once, we have had a little bit of luck with red flags and whatnot going our way. And Giovinazzi's had a little bit of luck in terms of having the right tyre to put on at the end as well, which, you know, Mick just didn't have it as an option. So that is all looking fairly promising. We've got so much extra petrol thanks to all the red flags and whatnot that we don't have to worry about conserving. We can just burn as much as we like, basically. And this lap, we should have just about fully recharged batteries into turn 1, I would have hoped, with Giovinazzi. Not quite there yet. And we will just be a little bit careful and make sure that we're not going to lose the DRS here, because we're just in danger of slipping out of it. We might need to even deploy a little bit to make sure that we can get it back. But the two Red Bulls are very much fighting this out amongst themselves. Are they hurting their tyres in the process? Not really, it has to be said. They're still better than Mick in terms of tyre condition. So we're going to need to deploy here, though, because we need to get back to within a second. Oh, that's from the leader, is it? Hang on. So, no, we're fine. We're fine. Just about. We just about have it. Alright, well, we want to wait our moment here. We don't want to wait too long. But we'll be back if there's an attack. Alright, we are setting up a move here. If this doesn't work, then we're going to wait till the very end. But what we're going to try and do, we only really get one attempt at this. We're going to go, again, full send, deploy. We're trying an ambitious double overtake of the Red Bull here. Is it going to be enough? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Russell's got... No, Verstappen has got past George Russell. Something's happened up front here anyway. It doesn't look like it's going to quite happen. The problem we have, of course, is that they're battling themselves and kind of blocking the track, so it's difficult to get past. We'll keep deploying, though. Let's get rid of that so we can actually see what's going on. And so it is Verstappen in front of us right now. We just don't quite have the tyre life. We have a little bit, though. So we can try. Let's try. I wonder if we can send one into the chicane on Verstappen. Not quite. Not quite. Come on. Come on. Come on, Gio. Come on, Gio. Swoop in around the outside, mate. Swoop in around the outside. No. Just not quite happening, is it? We on to the final lap.
One more lap.
And, yeah, we just don't quite have the Red Bull pace. Again, it's 10 seconds back to everybody else. Nobody else can get anywhere near us. But, when it comes to Ferrari v Red Bull, it has to be said, Red Bull just seem to have us covered, don't they? So let's deploy again, see if we can get anything at all. It's unlikely, but maybe into the chicane we can do one last send and try and get a position. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it is going to once again be Red Bull first in Verstappen, second with Russell, and then Giovinazzi and Mick come home third and fourth.
Okay, that's
and
a
it's
flag.
just the best we can do right now, isn't it? Good recovery from Gio to be that close behind them after a bit of a disaster in qualifying. Yeah, so a good race. Unfortunately, as well, they nicked fastest lap with Verstappen just after the third red flag, or the third restart, I should say. And I mean, up 9, he's done really well, but suffered a dodgy pit stop. In truth, with the red flags, I don't know that it's made that much difference to his race on this occasion. But Verstappen, again, he's relentless, isn't he? He just keeps pulling away. Mick pulls in some more points there on Perez. He is now only 2 points back of him. And in the Constructors, again, we're pulling away from Mercedes. We're losing ground to Red Bull. And we're just going to end up finishing second, which is the best we would have done. So not the end of the world. So that is that. Next up, it is Qatar, which I believe is a sprint weekend, isn't it? So that'll be interesting. More more chance of points. Maybe if we have a good round there, it'll help, you know, with there's more chance of us to peg back Red Bull, more chance of them to pull away from us too, isn't there? But if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully we can do better than 3rd and 4th in Qatar, but hopefully not worse. First and 2nd would be nice. Take care.